Hello everybody and welcome back to the Football Overseas YouTube channel and welcome to another round of English Championship predictions. We're up to game week 43 and game week 44 over the coming holiday weekend. The first round of matches are on Friday, all 12 on the one day, and then all 12 on the holiday Monday. So we have a busy weekend ahead for these teams, if they haven't had a busy week already with all the matches recently. So some key things will emerge from these 6 points up for grabs this weekend. Some decisions may well be almost done by the time we speak again next week for the final two matches. So I'll be doing the usual routine today for the Good Friday matches, game week 43, and then I'll just do a quick update and review and preview. It won't be the usual length of time I spend on it over the weekend, and that will bring us up to speed for game week 44, just so that everything's as up to date as we can get it on the channel. So there we go. What happened last weekend? Quite a bit at the top and the bottom. There was a key result which affected both, and that was Plymouth overcoming Sheffield United. Just when I thought Plymouth were waving the flag, the white flag indeed, they've put that away for another week or two maybe, and have kept themselves just about hanging on to Championship status. And they beat Sheffield United 2-1 after coming back from a goal down as well. So it was all going on down there last weekend, and that meant that Sheffield United now really have put themselves in a difficult place to overcome the top two, I think. 5 points gap now, 4 to play, always a tricky one. So we shall see. So both Burnley and Leeds United need 7 points from their remaining games to guarantee going up. So 7 out of the 12 takes them on to 95. That's all Sheffield United can get now, is 95. And they play Burnley as well, so something will have to give there. So lots to think about. Sheffield United 3 defeats on the trot, leaving Leeds and Burnley just moving away a little bit. So they'll be happy about that, those two teams. At the bottom, Plymouth joined Luton on 40 points, with Luton going down to a surprising defeat home to Blackburn. That was a surprise to me anyway, because I thought Blackburn were there for the taking, given their recent run of form and Luton's desperation. Perhaps they were too desperate, who knows. So Luton went down, Plymouth joined them on 40 points. Derby let 2 leads slip down at Fratton Park, which they'd be really disappointed about, because if they held on to one of those, as it would happen, they would have been above Portsmouth as we speak. So that would have had a whole different complexion on the conversations that we're having. But Derby have a chance then. So let's get into the fixtures. Derby have a chance to get early pressure on everybody down there, because they've got home game against Luton Town, and they're the half 12 kickoff, the lunchtime kickoff. So I think they will overcome Luton. Luton just seem to have had their spirit broken, I think, probably by that match last week. But they won't give in, of course they won't. But I think at the end of the day, 3 of these sides have got to go down. So you've got to start making some predictions somewhere, and I think Luton and Plymouth are probably too much to do now, even though they're only 3 points behind. But if Derby were to win, as I say, it almost puts Luton away from Derby, 6 points with 3 to play, and Derby will put both Plymouth and Luton 5 points behind the escape total. So it's a very key match to start things off. I'm going to take Derby to take it to win the points. Derby County 2, Luton Town 1. Then we go to Blackburn against Millwall. Blackburn, as I say, sort of just treading water mid-table. Obviously, every team tries to finish on a high, especially in front of their own fans. Well, there's another home game to go as well. But Millwall just kept themselves looking at the playoff picture with their 3rd win on the trot, 4 wins and 5. An excellent win against home to Middlesbrough, which shook up the playoff places a little bit, because they joined Middlesbrough on 60 points, although with Middlesbrough have a vastly superior goal difference. And they sit waiting to pounce on Coventry and Bristol City, who are the current shirt holders for the playoff spots on 63 and 64 points. And then there are 3 teams on 60. So we shall see if Millwall can go 4 on the bounce. I think they've got a chance, but I'm going to take Blackburn to follow up their good away win with another good result. And I'm going to take Blackburn and Millwall to share the points. Blackburn 1, Millwall 1. Then we have Bristol City versus Sunderland. Bristol City will be disappointed, I think, not to have followed up their recent home victories with a win down at QPR. QPR struggling a little bit, as we know, but they went behind, and Bristol City got the goal back, all in the first half, and the second half just sort of petered out a little bit. Anyway, it didn't do them too much harm. They could have done with the extra 2 points to really give themselves a great chance of staying in there. But it didn't do them much harm. They're still the 5th place team, which is as good as any of the others can get outside the top 4. Nobody can get to 4th place. So 5th place is what everyone looks at to be certain of the playoffs. Of course, 6th place as well. So Bristol City playing Sunderland. Now, Sunderland lost at home to Swansea. And I think Sunderland are just in a bit of a pickle to a certain degree, because they just don't want to go hell for leather with the playoffs guaranteed for them. And they don't want to, but also they don't want to have this flat run of form. So Sunderland have just won 2 out of their last 6. They lost at home to Swansea, and I think Bristol City have a chance here because Bristol to take the points. So I'm going to take them to have another good home performance. They've only lost 1 in their last 13 home games, so it's been their catalyst for this improvement up into the top 6. So Bristol City 2, Sunderland 0. Then we have a Midlands derby, if you like, Coventry City against West Bromwich Albion. So there'll be a right old humdinger here. Coventry went ahead at home on Monday night, but then let it slip. West Brom did the same, I believe, went 1-0 up against Watford and let it slip. So West Brom will still harbour, obviously, as do Millwall and Middlesbrough, harbour the chance to get into that top 6. But it is now 2 from 5 teams, I think, who can take the remaining 2 places. One of those is Coventry, and they're in there at the moment. And I think this will be a tough one. I think West Brom will want to go just down the road to their neighbours and put on a good show. So I think there'll be goals, but I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going to take Coventry and West Brom to play out a 2 each draw. Then we go for Plymouth making a long trip even, to Middlesbrough. One of their longest, if not the longest, of the season, I would suggest, in the league anyway. But they won't mind that with that win against Sheffield United still fresh in their minds. Middlesbrough not so happy about their what's still fresh in their minds from a 1-0 defeat against Millwall. So Middlesbrough need to win this match. If Bristol City and Coventry pick up points at all, really, and Middlesbrough lose, then they're in big trouble. It's a difficult task. I think they'll just sneak it. I think Plymouth will go there. They'll give it their best shot. It's a free hit. I say that several times during the season, but this is a genuine free hit. Don't just go there and do it and just give it everything. Because they've had some decent results lately, but also some poor ones really that could have been so different. But I think they'll go down, unfortunately, and that could be the real final nail in their coffin, possibly. Middlesbrough 2, Plymouth Argyle 1. My take. Now we have Norwich, against Portsmouth. With Portsmouth still a little bit nervous after that home draw, you see. If they don't get the home points and they keep losing away, it does keep the pressure on them. Only 1 win in their last 6 now for Portsmouth. Since that brilliant win against Leeds, I think. They did beat Blackburn, but otherwise it's not been great points return. The form hasn't been too bad, to be fair, but the points haven't been there. So they're still looking over their shoulders. At the moment, Cardiff are doing people a little bit of a favour in that group. They can breathe a bit easy while Cardiff still continue to drop points. However, this is it's an away game, so it's a tough game for Portsmouth, the way things have gone this season. Norwich will just be free-flowing. They'll just give it their all, won't they? Given that they've got nothing to play for mid-table. completely lost their way a little bit in the sort of just after Christmas. But I think they'll take this match. I think Portsmouth's away record will let them down. Norwich will play some good football. Could play into Portsmouth's hands a little bit because they like teams to knock the ball about. But we shall see. I'm going to take Norwich to win it though. A few goals around. Norwich 3, Portsmouth 1. Preston North End against QPR is the next up. This is much ado about the mid-table really. Two teams that have probably not done as well as they wanted to, but also had some skirts with the bottom areas as well, didn't they? So they'll want to just relax, play a decent game of football between themselves, and I think Preston North End just giving them home advantage. No other reason than that really. Preston North End 2, Queen's Park Rangers 1. Now we have Stoke City, who just had a fantastic win down at Cardiff last weekend. A very late goal for Stoke, winning it by 1-0, which was a real 6-pointer for them. It's put them 5 points clear of Cardiff on 47 points. And they're unbeaten now in 4 Stoke. They had a couple of dodgy results, didn't they? Really poor results that I know Mark Robbins wasn't happy with, but he seems to have just steadied the ship now. Perhaps got them playing his tune a little bit since he's gone there. I think this will be a tough one though. Sheffield Wednesday, we know a few off-field problems we keep speaking about. Haven't heard much about that lately, so perhaps it's died down a little bit. But they did lose at home to Oxford. Yes, Oxford really playing for their lives down there. But Sheffield Wednesday, comfortable on 53 points. That's the magic total, really, not to be worrying about relegation or anything. So they're happily there. I think this will be Stoke will be happy with another point on the board. I think that's what will happen. It'll peter out to be Stoke City 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Swansea City against Hull City. Hull, as I say, scraped to 1 each draw, or got back really in the game against Coventry. They had chances to win, but then so did Coventry. So probably the draw was a fair result ultimately. Swansea City just having a good little trot here to finish the season off. 3 wins on the trot, playing relaxed football. 54 points for that team. You know, that little area where it's just a nice place to be. You obviously want to be in the playoffs, but there's no pressure from anyone below, and I think they'll show that in their play. Holborn might be a bit tense, a bit desperate for the points on 45, because if Cardiff do get their winning boots back, 45 points is in real danger. So, but I think Swansea will do it. Swansea City 2, Hull City 0. Then we have Watford against Burnley. Now, Burnley will be very happy with life. They beat Norwich last week. They saw Sheffield United come unstuck. All right, Leeds have still got their win as well. But I think Burnley will just go down and do a Burnley job on Watford. Watford again in that middle section of teams. Not really anything to go, nothing to go for. A little bit of pride, but I think Burnley will show that why they're heading perhaps for the Premier League, and we'll go Watford 0, Burnley 2. Now, this game affects the top and bottom of the tables greatly. Cardiff will be thinking, goodness me, are Sheffield United going to lose 4 games on the bounce? Very unlikely, you would think. And Sheffield United, definitely, if they don't win this match, it's almost certainly playoff time for them. So we shall see. This is, yes, so they need to win. I think Cardiff will. They still have hope if they did come unstuck, but the hope is running out. They just haven't had a win now for 3 draws admittedly, but it's not doing them any good. I think Sheffield United will dust themselves down after their poor week last week. They've just got to get 12 points and see what happens and get those 95. Get to 95 if they possibly can. That will mean they beat Burnley on the way, so it'll be key. But I think they'll start off this 4-match programme for them with a win. Sheffield United 2, Cardiff City 0. And finally, on Friday night, the Friday night football is the last game of the weekend, or last game of the next programme, rather than the first. But as I say, it's all 12 matches on the one day because of the holiday weekend. So Oxford United versus Leeds. Leeds took away some of the pressure that was mounting. It's different kind of pressure at the top. It's not the pressure these sides at the bottom are facing, but it is a pressure when you've been at the top and you missed out last year by the merest of margins and all of that. It's that time of year now. They've got 4 games to put all that to bed, get the 7 points they need, and go off into the sunset and start again in the Premier League next season. These will be, I hope, we have 3 teams going up this year that make a real fist of it, because it's we'll talk about that when we get to the playoffs and stuff, but seeing these championship sides go up and straight back down isn't particularly healthy. But they've got to get there first, but I think they will go down to Oxford and take the points. Oxford had a really good win at Sheffield Wednesday, so that's given them a chance still. They're on 48 points now, 6 points clear, so they're breathing a bit easier. They can relax on and use Leeds as again one of my free hits, if you like. They're not expected to stay up by beating Leeds United, so it's a game they can go and enjoy, welcome the league leaders to their ground, and make it a really good atmosphere for their fans. And I think Leeds will relish in that, and it won't be easy for them. No one's really gone to Oxford and had it easy this season, but I think Leeds will take the points. To round off the Good Friday programme, Oxford United 1, Leeds United 2. So there we have it. The first game of back-to-back games this coming holiday weekend, the first round. It'll be very interesting, as I say, the 6 points up for grabs this weekend, and we'll see where we are over the weekend following these matches. Have a lovely holiday weekend, everybody. Stay healthy, stay safe. I will pop up sometime over the weekend just as a brief update on what happens on Friday, and a quick run through of the 12 fixtures that we've got to look forward to on Monday. So there we have it. Have fun, everybody. Take care, as I say, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.